Hi.
Shemai, everyone. We're Radio Platform. I'm Katie, and this is my wonderful colleague, Agathe.
Oops, okay. Sorry. My notes are on my phone, and I'm using both hands right now.
So thank you to everyone so far who's kind of mentioned the importance of young people in the radio industry, in the audio industry. That's really what we're about at Radio Platform. We are a station run by and for young people, based in Cardiff and in the Rhondda Valley. So, here's a little short history about Radio Platform. I will preface all of this by saying that we're really lucky to be based and get all our funding from the Wales Millennium Centre. I don't know if any of you have been, but it's in Cardiff Bay. It's the building that kind of looks like an armadillo, is what I always say. So this is a bit of a short history about us. So we launched in 2016 at the Festival of Voice, which is an annual music festival that the WMC put on, just as a one-off kind of trial kind of thing. And then in the following year, they decided that Radio Platform's going to come back permanently, which is nice for us. We got a beautiful studio. We have 2 studios in our Cardiff Bay studio, and we got our first permanent staff members enroll. Then in 2019, we opened a studio up in the valleys in Porth. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Skipping on to COVID, obviously we've all kind of touched on this today, but we were the only output from the Wales Millennium Centre during COVID. All of our young people were at home recording their shows, and we were still putting everything out. Agathe, for example, did all her training over Zoom during COVID. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
And then in-person training restarted the following year. We ran our first graduation event in Porth in 2022. So we run graduation events for our training cohorts, and the first Porth one was in 2022. And then skipping to now, it's only taken like 7 years, but the WMC now regularly broadcasts us in the building, so anyone who comes to visit can hear us, whether they're just having a coffee, coming to see a performance, whatever, because the WMC is the National Arts Centre for the whole of Wales.
So next, I'm just going to talk about radio in Wales a little bit. So Wales is quite has been quite forgotten by the big national radio stations up until actually 2023, when the BBC now has programs from Radio 1, Radio 2, 6 Music, and Radio 4 as well, the podcast from Radio 4. So audio and radio in Wales are growing, especially also with community radio stations like Bro Radio in the Vale of Glamorgan or GTFM in the Valleys, as well as also student radio like Express Radio from Cardiff University, which I went to. And basically, the role of a radio platform, from my personal experience at Express Radio, I discovered radio through being a student and going to university and joining student radio, which was really cool. But a lot of people don't go to university and therefore don't get to discover radio. So this is what Radio Platform is for. We offer accredited trainings to, like Katie said, young people between 11 and 25. And these trainings are in radio and broadcasting and interviewing things and doing vox pops and things like a lot of you actually are doing. But after that, basically the people become members and they can just make whichever show that they'd like to make. And then we go to gigs and things like that. We have a station, as Katie said, in Cardiff and in Porth. So we are kind of reaching out to the valleys and to more rural places in Wales. We are still very much South Wales, very Cardiff, but there's stuff in the works basically. And our main goal is not about listeners or anything. It's about literally skills and trainings for young people and building their confidence and just kind of being there and being a safe space for them as well.
So as we both mentioned, we have a second studio in Porth, which is a really small little town near Pontypridd in the Rhondda Valley. And this is in collaboration with Valleys Kids, who are a youth arts charity based up in the Valleys, and the work that they do is amazing. The Rhondda is traditionally a very deprived area, and it has been for a long time. There's still a lot of elements of that deprivation going on, so this is really important work that we do up in Porth to make sure that the opportunities that we're giving to young people aren't just for those living in Cardiff and who are able to get to the WMC, but also trying to build up these skills and like hubs for skills in more local areas. Because we recently went on an away day up to the valleys, and just to show how kind of poor the public transport network is, and how long it takes for these kids up in the valleys to get down to Cardiff. It's not viable for a lot of them. So that's why we have a second studio up in Porth. We have a dedicated Porth studio coordinator, our amazing colleague Zoo, who has built wonderful connections and relationships with these young people. As well, our members in Porth are slightly younger than our members at the Cardiff station, so they're more like secondary school age, year 7, 8, 9, and they come every week to create shows about stuff that they're interested in, and they become really passionate about it. Yeah, I think that's everything to say about Porth.
And yeah, about Porth as well, they're basically like one of the most regular members we have in terms of content. So, like I said, our goal is not about content. So we broadcast. We're 24 hours a day, but we don't have shows all around, like all throughout the day. But yeah, we have like shows coming from Porth, and we have a wide variety of other shows like chill music, like book reviews or emo music. There's also shows in Welsh language, because obviously it's very important to have as much Welsh language as possible. The policy is that we're supposed to aim for 50%. So we have various shows in Welsh. We also have like shows that are based on interviews, so members just find their own like interviewees and they come in and all that stuff. So yeah. Next up, oh, that's me again. So yeah, our members, on top of being able to come in and record and have all the kind of equipment to do all of that, we also have a lot of different opportunities that we can offer them with the budget that we're kind of allocated by Wales Museum Centre. That includes a lot of like gigs and festivals like Green Man, Kais, Focus Wales. We also like go to like the London Podcast Festival, for example. We went this year. As well as local community events. So we went to the Barry Food Festival and we collaborated with Borough Radio. So we made content for them, but like that was a collaboration. So we're trying to kind of build relationships with other community stations in the area as well. And we also get press tickets to anything happening in the Wales Museum Centre. So, and then they can just make reviews and they can go and see, like, lately there was...
Life of Pi.
Wow. Yeah, Life of Pi. I'm focused on Shrek coming up in like 2 weeks. So, yeah. Yeah. Also, one last thing, sorry. We're organizing our Earth Week as well, so we're taking part in that. And I've put a few of Penny's cards on a table over there. If you're interested in taking part, it would be really amazing to have as many community stations as possible to take part in this year.
So yeah, with all those opportunities that we offer to our members, this is another way that they can build their skills. So not just through the training courses that we offer, but also through, actually going out there into the community, into the studio, and kind of implementing them and getting first-hand experience. So above all, we'd say that the most important skill that we offer people to kind of develop is their confidence. I know this was touched upon by some other community stations today. And I just think it's really important to note that, not everyone's number one interest is radio. I know that's shocking to a room like all of us. But we just want to give young people a space where they can develop their skills in media and in radio, but they can take the confidence that they've gained from being part of Radio Platform to gain employment in any industry or any type of employment that they want to. But obviously, they can also gain specialist skills in all of the kind of events that we've said that they cover. So like reviewing, interviewing, collecting vox pops, and going out, and that's another way to boost confidence. We've started to run more specialist workshops. So we did a station sound workshop where people could make their own jingles, an editing workshop. all the things that come with kind of producing and presenting your own shows. So the show planning, the script writing, the marketing, all of that, all of these kind of general media skills that we try and give young people. And then finally, one of our staff members scribbled this on a piece of paper the other day, and I was like, this is brilliant, we should put this in the presentation. So just to kind of contextualize everything that we've said within the theme of legacy and tomorrow, this is kind of what we aim to give young people who are members of Radio Platform, who in turn are going to be, the leaders of the radio industry in the years or decades to come. So when people come to us first and they come and do a training course, which is either a 2-day intensive course or our 6-week course, which are always oversubscribed. We've been really lucky with the uptake. And if people come to the course but they decide they don't really want to take it any further than that, at least they can walk away with an accreditation. They've learned something new and they've had an opportunity to kind of meet new people and express themselves. But if they decide to carry on and then become a more regular member and they're creating shows with us, they're getting opportunities to go on trips and kind of implement their skills in real life, but then they decide to not take it any further than that, they've gained media skills, new experiences, and loads of content, loads of content to kind of add to their portfolio and their show reel if they would like to go and pursue this kind of work in the future. But what is amazing about Radio Platform, as I said, we're a station run by and for young people. Every single year we offer 5 paid opportunities for Radio Platform members to come and work for the station. So there's 5 of us, we're a very tight-knit group. And then once you've become a staff member, you kind of got your first media job or first job in the radio industry, and you've got more of an integration into the Wales Millennium Centre and that kind of more corporate structure as well. We're both really lucky because we have other jobs in the radio industry as well, and we've kind of used our experience at Radio Platform to help us in other job interviews and stuff. And we're also super proud of one of our former members and former station coordinator, Molly Palmer, who just last week, I think, announced that she is now going to be a regular presenter on BBC Radio Wales. So there is a clear trajectory of people who take part in the Radio Platform programme and then, people who go on to work in the radio industry. So yeah, diolch for listening.
Yeah, diolch.